following show contains adult content. It's not our intent to offend anyone, but we want to inform you that if you are a child under the age of 18 or get offended easily, this next show may not be for you. The content, opinions, and subject matter of these shows are solely the choice of your show hosts and their guests, and not those of the Entertainment Network or any affiliated stations. Any comments or inquiries should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for listening.
Hey everyone, and welcome to 50 Shades of Bullshit. I'm your host, Christine Lalonde, and this is the podcast where we uncover the truth about online dating. Now let's begin. Hey everyone, I'm Christine.
I'm Sean.
And this is 50 Shades of Bullshit. And today, sorry, I got to fix my mic here. It's driving me a little nutso. Hi, Sean.
I can see you.
I'm a little all over the place today. I got a lot of.
Look like you're feeling much better than the last time I saw you.
Okay, so for the last month I have been sick as hell and coughing. Last week I was coughing so hard I kept muting myself like every other second, and then I watched the playback and I'm like, bleh. It was terrible. But I'm feeling pretty sassy and I'm feeling more myself.
Okay. Giddy up.
Giddy up, cowboy. Woo! So Gabby's not here today, as people can tell. Gabby is going through some stuff, and so she's dealing with that, and we are missing her. But do you know what that means, Sean?
That means we get to spend more time together.
I know. That does mean that. Yay! So today's a really interesting topic. It is actually polyamory. What is it? And I had never heard about it until like a few years ago. Someone I went on a couple of dates with mentions it, and I'm like, what are you talking about? And to him, it pretty much meant he could just do whatever he wanted with whoever he wanted. And as long as he said the word polyamorous or poly whatever, he could do it. And I was like, okay, peace out, because I'm a monogamous girl. I'm old fashioned.
This is common. I was very similar. I went on a date, really enjoyed the day with this gal, and we're starting to kind of think maybe we could get into this a little bit. And she's asking me what I want, doesn't mention any of this, and then finally she calls and says, hey, I'm polyamorous. I'm like, what is that? And didn't know what to do with it at the time, so it wasn't what I wanted. I wanted just a regular. And so after talking about it, and what's interesting is she became one of my best friends, though. We talk all the time. We've been talking for, almost 2 years now, and just every day almost. And it's been great because I got to learn a lot about this, about polyamory. So I'm really excited to go over this today.
Well, I'm getting feedback. So, Sean, maybe is your speaker really loud? Way to go and F it all up, Sean. So I'm just going to tell you that I had no idea what it meant. So I did a Google search, and it says polyamory specifically refers to multiple loving relationships. And then I didn't understand what that meant. So I asked what the difference was between non-monogamy, because that has been thrown around like freaking crazy in the last year. And I'm like, what in the hell? So it says that polyamory specifically refers to multiple loving relationships, whereas ethical non-monogamy is an arrangement where people have multiple consensual, romantic, sexual, and/or intimate connections. None of that makes sense. I don't understand it.
They're making it too hard. They're defining things. Everybody wants to define, be a part of something. And not everybody's the same, and that's okay, because you can be different, but it's just the definitions are just getting a little bit too much almost.
I think it's too much. It's too much for me. This throwing around, this casual is one thing, which I'm like, no, thank you. I'm not your casual biatch. I'm not your friends with benefits. My benefits are for someone who treats me more and more special than a friend. And I don't get the non-monogamy and the ethical part. What's the fucking difference? It's like either you tell the person or you don't tell the person. What's one cheating and one's not? I don't get it. So today I thought, how fun would it be to talk to an exceptionally beautiful, extraordinary woman who could come on and tell us, what that's like.
Looking forward to it.
We have a guest today. Her name is Kymmie. She is a Los Angeles-based solo polyamorous lesbian, and she is also the creator founder of let me see if I can get this right, Uncovered Conversation Cards, which sounds really damn cool to me. It's a
need some of those.
Right? I need that. A unique, thought-provoking card game for singles and committed individuals who want to learn more about their partners and themselves. So I'm excited to talk to her, but I'm also excited to understand what solo-polyamorous means, because there goes another thing that I am clueless about. So yeah, Jason's saying we're also getting some feedback. He also said,
I'm sure I'm in a quiet office. There's nothing here. So,
well, it could be my voice is coming through because you're not on headphones today like you normally are. And so we can hear a little of the feedback. That's all. Well, let's bring on Kymmie and let's have her join the conversation.
Hi. Hey, everybody.
You're so cute. How are you?
Thank you. I'm great. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited about this conversation today.
Me too. I found you on Clubhouse like months and months and months ago. And I was like loving how you presented yourself in all these rooms. And you just seem so amazing. And then I thought, oh my gosh, I got to see what this woman's about. And I was looking at your information and I was like, you talk a lot about polyamorous and all those things. So I wanted to hear it straight from the horse's mouth, so to speak.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So I heard your question earlier about like, what's the difference between ethical non-monogamy and polyamory?
Yes.
So ethical non-monogamy is kind of an umbrella term that fits a bunch of different types of non-monogamous relationship dynamics. So polyamory is one, and then you can swinging. So people who swing would be another one. What's a relationship anarchy, which is basically you create your own rules and structures in your relationships. There's no like hierarchy for friends being more important than your relationships with your partners and etc. And then solo polyamory is essentially you don't exist on a relationship escalator. You're not basing your relationships on marriage or kids or things like that. So hopefully that helps a little bit.
So what's the difference for you? Why do you say that you are poly opposed to ethical non-monogamy?
Well, I feel like ethical is such a like subjective term because, what's ethical to me may be unethical to you, right? Yeah. And I think that a lot of the time, like people kind of just assume we all have the same ethics. We all have the same like idea of what's appropriate and what's not. So I actually like to use consensual non-monogamy instead because I feel like with consensual, everybody's involved, everybody's giving consent to the relationship dynamic that they're in. And to me, it's pretty clear cut versus ethical where it can be kind of like gray.
Okay. So for you, what made you decide to be in this kind of, what's the framing for your life, for your relationships?
Yeah. To be honest, I kind of feel like I've always felt this way. So even when I was a lot younger and, if I was interested in more than one person and your friends are like, oh, you have like, which one are you going to pick? Which one do you like more? Like, which one do you want to date? And I'm like, why do I have to pick one? Like, why can't I see them both? Right. And I think it's because most people are monogamous. So the idea of liking and being, interested in more than one person sounds like a weird, deviant type of thing. But I think I've always kind of felt like I was pretty non-monogamous by nature.
Okay. So when are you in a relationship now? Is that what the solo part means, or you're not in one?
So I have a partner that I've been with for the past couple of years who's also solo-polyamorous as well. But she's the only person that I'm with right now. She's the only one that I'm spending time with. I kind of feel like I am solo. Like I'm focusing 100% on myself. I have no interest in like getting into other committed relationships. Right now, I just want to meet more friends. I want to build platonic connections with people. So that's been more my.
Is solo meaning you're just one person at the moment? Is that what that means?
Solo means that I'm my own primary partner. Like I am my own boo. Yeah, and then everybody else, they're like my side boos. No,
I know how to treat myself well. So I understand. I like this. I'm digging this.
Yeah, and it's really just like you build your relationships completely honest, like radical honesty. If I don't want to, if I don't want to be in a long-term relationship with someone, I can be comfortable saying like, hey, I'm interested in you. I want to spend time with you, and I value our relationship as it is.
Right.
But I don't need for us to move in together. I don't want to plan for marriage. That's really what the solo part is. It's really just like you are your own primary partner, and you only get in relationship structures that you want to be in, essentially.
So when you are, say, in an actual, so you're just saying one person, but you're both considering yourself solo, meaning you're focusing on yourselves instead of focusing on a relationship, but yet you're in some type of relationship together. You're seeing each other.
Yeah, I mean, and solo polyamorous people can be in committed relationships with people. Like they can have committed relationships. It's just that, again, like they're their primary person, So what that looks like for my partner and I is, we don't live together. We have our own time. We do our own thing, but we also prioritize, each other as well. We try to make sure we spend time with each other and, checking with each other, just like a relationship. But, yeah.
No, I get that. Sean, you had said that you were just talking about this the other day. So what was your conversation?
For me, with the people that I've talked to, it's really kind of an amazing thing. It's like and I'm trying to think of the best way to put it. So, Kymmie, no disrespect, forgive me for hearing what I want to say.
Yeah.
But it seemed to me, the way I described it, and it made sense to me, anyways, was they are really connected friends that also have benefits with each other, and they're in a little group, and it's kind of neat where this individual that I know has 3 other basically boyfriends, and all of them know about each other. And they're all okay with it because they get this is the way it's supposed to be, and this is what they committed to. And I'm not sure if the other guys have other partners as well, but they all know about each other. And the key here is, instead of going behind each other's backs, it's all up front, it's all honest, it's all open. There's nothing hidden. And so that's what, when it comes to this specific subject, it's nice because there's people out there doing it anyways, but they're hiding it when you really do not have to. They could just go straight into just being honest, open, and having these great conversations. And it actually spawns great relationships because these guys are all friends with each other as well because of this, which was unique for me as finding out as well. So it's really neat, the community that can be involved with this type of relationship.
Your friend is living the good life.
Yeah. She really is, but she gets it.
I'm sorry. It sounds incredibly complicated to me. It sounds like it could get real messy real fast. Someone's catching feelings, somebody else isn't. Someone starts to get maybe, we're human. And there is anytime, any possibility that someone could catch feelings and get jealous, or just because someone says that they, can handle the poly, can I shorten it like that? Am I okay?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah.
So say someone's poly, and then there's this like communal thing going on with 3 guys and this girl, and the possibility of other women and other guys, and it's like, oh my God, what if someone, gets jealous, or I don't know, it just seems so messy to me.
I mean, it can be messy, but I think the difference between polyamory and monogamy is when we feel jealous feelings, we typically look to our partner to make us feel better. Like, I don't feel good about this, so what are you going to do to make me feel better about it? Right? But I think with
Yeah.
polyamory, what's different is that we're kind of responsible for those feelings ourselves.
But
So,
are we anyway in monogamy?
yeah.
Because for me, I feel like it's what we bring each to the table. Maybe I approach it differently than your average Joe, but I think that it's what we each bring to the table, and it's what our fulfillment for ourselves is first, and then we're coming in, and yes, we're giving and taking from each other, but I do see what you're saying. Jealousy can spur, and things can get out of control by expecting your partner to make you feel better about you. And though it is nice to hear affirmations from your partner,
Oh,
I
for
also
sure.
think that it should be coming from really believing in yourself first, loving yourself first, taking care of yourself first, putting on that oxygen mask before you put it on somebody else.
It's about
Right.
being honest with yourself, right? And being honest, knowing what you truly want. If you to make this work, you really have to know what you want and be able to put that out there. And then it's up to the other person, like she said earlier. Do you want to live in this box or not? And if you do, great, I'm all for it. If you do not, then that's okay. I mean, I can move on and find other things. I mean, I really like you, and it's unfortunate. I'm sure you've had many of those conversations too, where you said this isn't going to work because you can't fit into what I need. So I would imagine the difference here is with monogamy, there's this old school set of rules that has been for thousands of years that you have to abide by, where with poly is fairly a new openly new process where people are now able to be completely secure with themselves. So
yeah, I mean, I don't think I think it's been practiced for a really long time, but I think that it's now starting to gain like attention. Like, I feel like people are now questioning, like, why am I doing this? Like, why am I, why am I in a 15-year marriage with someone that I don't particularly, have a great time with or like, but I don't want to lose that relationship. So, why am I doing that? Why can't I talk to them about what I want and what I need? And sometimes it's not always polyamory, sometimes it can be, exploring things sexually, or trying new things, going to new places. Like, I feel like and I don't want to say monogamy is great. I think monogamy is just as valuable as polyamorous relationships are, right?
Yeah.
But I think that it's the compulsory monogamy piece that's unhealthy, that's toxic, because I feel like a lot of people get into relationships with no aim. Like, they have no real aim. And
I agree.
they also don't heal the parts of themselves that they probably need to work on to feel secure in their relationships. So they're constantly looking for people to fill it. So you in one relationship, you jump right into another one. You in that one, you go right. So it's like, this kind of gives you the responsibility kind of to be like, okay, I feel jealous. Like, I'm feeling jealous right now, but why? Right? Because my partner is still here. They love me, I can communicate with them. So what's the real issue? And typically you'll find that it's either an unmet need, right? I want to spend more time with you. I feel like, it's something that you need that you haven't asked for yet or didn't know you needed. Or it could be like just an insecurity. Insecurity can come from so many different places. It can come from our childhood, from our relationships with our parents, or, so there are so many things that we are responsible to feel for ourselves, but we do look for our partners to do that for us. And I think
Agreed.
that's probably the piece that's different between monogamy and polyamory.
I think you said some really key, beautiful words. Figuring out what it is that's making us jealous with, what is not being met for our needs, and having an open communication. I think that if jealousy can get bigger and bigger and cause more and more of a problem, and it becomes a blame thing or a bigger issue than what it is, I think the situation could very well mean that you can't communicate with your partner. Maybe not so much that your partner can't communicate with you. Maybe it's you can't communicate with your partner, because you're not telling them what the problem is or what the need is, or whatever.
Exactly. Right. Exactly. Yep. You got it.
And I'm old-fashioned. I like monogamy. I have a lot of love, but it's for one person and not, more than that. I just don't think I'm capable of sharing.
Yeah.
And being okay with that. I don't know if you want to call it jealousy. I don't think I'm a jealous person.
Not at all. Absolutely not. I don't think that everybody is, polyamorous. And I don't think that polyamory is some like elevated way to do relationship that everybody should do it. Let's try it, right? But I think that, with monogamy, you may only need one person to give you all those things, right? And you feel good about that. That's beautiful. I think that is intentional monogamy, and I think that that's beautiful. But I feel like most people don't think about it that much in that way. Like, am I intentional about this monogamous relationship? And that's why they may cheat, or or lie, or not, speak up for what they really want, etc.
Do you know what brings to mind for me is, my thought is, if somebody feels like they need to have more in their life, like another person, being poly, being non-monogamous, and this could be an insecurity on my part, who knows, but I think, is what we have not enough? And I think that is where my mind goes to. Am I wrong? Or do you think that a lot of people think that way?
I think a lot of people think that way. And I think that may be like normal, I guess, to think that way. But, as people, we have so many beautiful things to give. And, there are so many people out there who can teach us and show us things. There are so many different ways we can connect or have attraction to people, whether it's platonic, whether it's, more than that, sexual, right? Whatever it is, we can connect with people so many different ways. So I don't think it's necessarily that, it's not enough. It's more so like, what do I need? It could be different, right? And it's not measured on like what you can't do. It's just maybe I need something else in this space of my life, and it looks like this. And if you're like, oh, that's not me, right? That's okay. So I think it's more so that.
For me, when I look at this, like, I'm picturing it in my head, and I see that you're right. We do have a lot of things about us that maybe might be, connecting with other people. For me, that is, certain family, certain friends, certain, colleagues or whatever. They fulfill certain things that maybe I don't have in my relationship. And that's okay, because they also would be too. But for me, when it comes to love, sex, and romance, I really love that, it's a 100% connection between another person and I, and it's just for us. And truly, I've been married and divorced, and I thought I had that in my relationship. I didn't. But I realize now that I was lacking. I wasn't full. I wasn't, fulfilling myself and my own needs. So I think that I'm in a better place now. I think that my next, real relationship when I choose somebody who's on the same playing level as me on that
Right.
aspect, that it'll be better.
Yeah.
So that's my thoughts. What about you, Sean? Could you ever do poly or
No, and that's
multiple?
one of the reasons I never ended up in the relationship with her, you know. But you know, for me, I respect it, and I respect anybody who
Yeah.
believes in their, you know, if you're defining who you are and you're certain of it, and
Yeah.
that's important to me. But if you're, what I do not respect when it comes to it is the people who use poly as an excuse to do whatever they want because they're not really poly, and that's happening way often out there right now too.
Mm-hmm.
Where I'm literally listening to friends. I have a friend in Denver who called me once and he says, you know, I was talking with this girl and she said she's poly, but then it was basically, it felt like it was an excuse for her to be with other people and not really be committed. Like she said, she kind of wants to be, and it was this weird way of maneuvering, and guys and gals both do that. So for me, it's important that, you know what you want, you put it into action and communicate that.
Right. I agree.
So Jason is our producer and our engineer. He actually brought up a really good question that I love, and I wanted to see what your thoughts on this. He says, sorry, I saw his other comment. You know, when we said swinging, he said I was on swings all the time when I was in elementary school. That's Jason. He actually says, has the popularization, did I say that right? Popularization of adult entertainment given poly a bad name?
No, I don't think so. I think the fact that it's different from monogamy gives it a bad name. You know, I also think that people have a very like limited understanding of what it even is. Some people think it's polygamy, right? Polygamy, where it's like one man or woman married to more than one person, right?
Yep. Oh.
Well, you know,
oh, sorry.
that's what my friend says. My friend says it best: the dog barks at the unknown, right? And so people who aren't understanding of poly will lash out because they don't understand it. You know, so it's kind of how that works. Where if the dog knows you, it's not going to bark at you. But so it's just kind of how that works.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with you, Sean. I completely respect someone's choices, how they live, and their truthfulness within themselves, and their truthful what they bring to the table with another person, you know, being completely honest about how they want to approach a relationship. And I think that's gorgeous. I think that's beautiful. I think it's where we all should be. I think that a lot of people are just distrustful or lie about what they want to get certain things, and they use, like Sean said, these words to justify it. Oh, I didn't cheat on you, I like non-monogamy, or I didn't cheat on you, I'm poly.
Which is not okay, by the way.
Yeah.
Not supposed to do that. Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. Yeah. So when did you decide this was for you? Is it because you said you always felt like you just never really wanted to be with one person your whole life? Is it something that you think that the LGBTQ plus whatever? I'm so bad at all those. I try to get them all in and I can't.
I know what you mean.
So do you think that it's really prevalent in that community, or do you think it's just across the board? Does it matter if you're straight, gay, whatever?
It's across the board. To be honest, it's a very like hetero, like centric, like community. You won't see a lot of queer representation, unfortunately. And, you know, there's a lot of like over sexualizing like people who are bisexual, and, you know, let's get a third and add them to our relationship, and they're not a real person, they're just here to be an ornament for our relationship, you know, like things like that. As far as like for me, so I have been in monogamous relationships before. I was actually engaged. I was with somebody for 5 years, and I proposed to get married.
All right.
And I think it was like 3 weeks later that I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? No. And I couldn't do
3
it.
weeks.
Yeah, 3 weeks. I know, so bad. But I think that it was during those relationships where I was only kind of giving them like 50% of me, that I realized like, oh man, like this isn't who I am.
I have a question about that. So in this relationship that you were in that you proposed, were you guys not in a poly relationship? Were you in a monogamous relationship?
Completely monogamous relationship.
So were they not interested at all or in that kind of life? Or
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
How do you backpedal out of that?
I mean, for me, it is that it's a non-negotiable, yeah, at least right now, and I feel like there are some things that you can only learn in relationships. You learn over time and like, okay, no, this is actually who I am, or this is what I want or need. But now when I date people, I let them know right away.
Okay.
And it's not like, oh, I'm polyamorous. I actually like break it down to them first and then
I was going to ask you that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You say, so there's this thing called polyamorous, and this is how I think about it, and this is how I live my life. Do you think that if you were in, like, okay, say the relationship, I'm not putting you on the spot here.
It's okay, put me on the spot. I'm okay.
So, okay, I'm gonna. So say you're in this relationship, okay, and you're solo doing your things. Do you think that you could be in that type of relationship and propose again and actually marry this person and have that lifestyle together?
Yeah.
I think that's cool.
Yeah, if they're a good match for me.
Okay.
And what I mean by match is like not morph yourself to be what I want you to be, but like we are traveling through life and we can see doing these things together. Like I tell people, I can have a full committed relationship, 1,000%. However, there may be a day where I may like someone, different. And I tell them that, hey, like your autonomy is not a trading thing for me. We can still have a full relationship. We can still get to know each other. We can go out and have a great time, and you can talk to whoever you want and not have to worry about losing me at the end of the night. I feel like there's something very secure about that type of honesty. And if I found someone who was, comfortable with that, hell yeah, I would have no problem, committing to them in that way if they were a good fit for me.
Interesting. So you've never used non-monogamy. Have you ever like had that in your vocabulary for what you do, or has it always just been polyamorous?
No, actually the solo polyamorous thing is kind of new for me.
Okay.
I would consider myself, at least back then, it's been about 14 years that I've been practicing with some monogamous relationships in between, but I would just call myself non-monogamous. I'm not a monogamous person. And what that looks like is if I like you and we're spending time together and it's only you, like, don't use that as a bargaining, like that. Don't use that as a reason to be with me because it might change. Right.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, pretty much.
So you don't think that you'll ever get to the point where you're just like with one person, never anybody else again?
I mean, anything's possible, anything's possible, but knowing myself, probably not. Doesn't feel like that would be, that doesn't feel natural to me, but who knows?
Well, it's like me. It doesn't feel natural to like think about, oh God, it just, there's so much to life anyway. And it just is exhausting. I'm a mother, an entrepreneur. I do a lot of juggling with my professional life. And that's exploding. And, I've got my whole life here. And then the thought of going, oh, well, maybe I could bring another person into my life and divide my focus. I just, I don't think I'm capable. I don't think I have the capacity. The bandwidth. You read my mind.
I feel the same way.
Yeah.
I mean, but everybody's different. I just go back to when I was dating all the time and trying to talk to different people, and I know it's not the same because, but it can probably feel a little overwhelming at times. I mean, do you? I mean, when you're out there dating, are you feeling that same way, Kymmie?
Absolutely. I think that's why I'm kind of chilling right now. I think that's why I'm not trying to really, date a bunch of people. It does take a lot of energy, and you do have to have capacity to do it. Like little things like time management and like who you're going to spend time with. Oh, you're spending more time with this person versus this person. And, if you're long distance, how often are you talking on the phone? How often are you doing like all of those things take energy. And
a
like
lot
you
of
guys,
energy,
I've been in relationships for the past like 7-8 years. So
Wow.
I'm like, I'm tired. I just want to relax. I just want to just spend time and build my businesses and go to school. And if I meet somebody, cool. But I'm definitely like, I don't have the capacity. So I understand.
Well, I was married for a long time, and then I got a divorce, and I met someone through the entertainment business, whatever I was doing at that time, and then I was married with him for a long time. And this was all before online dating, and then I got a divorce. Oh my God, this is like 12, 13 years ago. And I had two real solid relationships that were at least 2 years each in there. But the rest of the time has been like just dating, just kind of looking and just kind of putting myself out there. And it has been incredibly exhausting. And it kind of affected who I was, and it made me question where I was going and what I really wanted. And I really had to stop and stop. I just had to stop. I stopped dating, not dating, like going out on dates and, doing fun stuff with people, but it stopped me from really trying to be in a relationship for a while because I needed to focus on my relationship with myself. And I really had to find out who I was and where I was going and what I really wanted and figure out what I really wanted. And now I'm in this place and I'm just open. And I wasn't looking though, I'm open to whatever comes along for that right person for me. And I think that process is what I needed to do because fucking online dating sucks balls.
It really does. There is pee in it. Like the dating pool does have pee in it.
Yes,
It is stinky, hairy, sweaty, gross. It is gross.
Yeah, it's funny when I dated. It's like when I was dating, you see all these people, then they're all connected to all these other people on Facebook, and it's like, oh gosh, how did that happen?
How do you
this
know
is going to
them?
be difficult. Yeah. Gotta work my way around because I did not like that one, but then they're the best friend of that one, and oh my god. Yeah.
So we have a listener, and she, he, I'm not sure, they, them, I'm not sure who it is, but they said, like Kymmie said, a lot of people cheat on one partner, usually does not share their views on monogamy. That is very true. This is why I will always recommend those long calls at night till 3 a.m. Oh boy, do I know that. I'm kind of living that at the moment, which is kind of nice. I kind of like it. I'm not one for long distance relationships, but I do see the value of really getting to know each other and getting to know someone. So it's kind of exciting. And it's making me really focus on who and what that person is, what their core values are, what they want, as well as mine, and see if it aligns instead of just getting so excited and running out and just going on dates and, the potential to fuck it up with sex too soon. And it's kind of exciting. I mean, Sean is actually going through that, that long distance relationship. And is she moved in yet, Sean?
Yeah, we got her here. So she's here. It's been amazing. She goes back in July. But it's going to be all right. And, I think it's definitely fun to actually focus in on one person. I tell you what, she's amazing. So she makes it easy. But I was going to ask you, Kymmie, is there dating sites specifically for polyamorous people? Because I wouldn't even know where to begin on that.
There are a lot of people use like OkCupid. They may, Tinder. I mean, you can find polyamorous people on all of the apps.
Yeah.
you may come across a lot of couples on there who are typically looking for, someone to join their relationship. That's like the most popular. But I feel like, they're on all the dating sites.
Yeah.
I don't use the like poly focused, alternative relationship focused apps, because I just feel like that's not the type of connection I'm looking for. You know what I mean? I feel like usually on those sites, kind of sex centered, and me being a lesbian, I'm usually like the one that they want to have fun with, but
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I can see that.
if I'm new, I'm sure there's a lot of people listening that's new to this, like, and learning about this. How am I going to go about to see if this was for me? If this is something I wanted to learn about and really understand it more, what's the best ways to do that?
Ooh, yes. So there's this book. It's called Polysecure by Jessica Fern. And the reason why I love this book so much is because she breaks down not only like the definitions and what, polyamory, consensual non-monogamy looks like, but she also includes like attachment styles and breaks down like the origin of attachment styles, which one kind of connects with you, and then also like how to heal those pieces of yourself, not just necessarily for, polyamory, but just to feel more secure in a relationship. And then another thing is, so I actually released a few different card packs specifically.
I was going to ask you about that. Yes.
Yeah. So I have a partnered centered pack, but I also have a single solo pack for people who want to really get to know themselves before they start dating. And
how do they find this, by the way?
On my on my website, they can go to uncoveredconvo.com. They can also go to Uncovered Poly on Instagram. And you could find us there. But like I wanted to read a couple of the questions just to kind of give an idea of what, can come up as far as like what kind of questions you would be asking yourself. So one for the solo poly pack is, what need do you depend on others to fulfill? And I feel like, I don't think we really think about it. We just want them to fill the need, right? It just feels natural. But if we sit back and question like, okay, what need do I depend on other people to fill? I expect other people to make me feel beautiful, right? My partner needs to make me feel attractive. And if they don't do that, if they take that away from me, then I lose that, right? So I feel like, I guess getting to know yourself that intricately can make you more intentional, like inner intentional about how you date. So
I love that.
Thank you.
There's not a lot of the single aspect to things on the market. I went and actually bought some cards the other day for couples where you can ask each other questions, but the single piece is really intriguing. I really appreciate that someone like you did that.
I love that. I
play with your friends.
I applaud you. That is fucking great. I'd love that. I'm gonna have to get that because
I'm excited. I'll send you some. Important. I'll send you both some packs so that you can check them out. Yeah,
that's brilliant.
I'm releasing a healthy monogamy pack as well. And this pack is more so. Yeah.
Look at you, sister.
I love this. I
do too.
I want to help, people feel comfortable in their skin and know that they can have the relationships they want, whether it's monogamous or otherwise, like getting comfortable asking for what we want and what we need, because it's out there, we just have to be comfortable to ask for it.
You know what? I think this is a year of communication. That is really what I'm hearing more and more and more. It's like communicating, finding out who you are, finding out who your partner is, finding out who the people you're dating. You had talked about, oh God, you just said it, and attachment styles. We had an episode on that a few months ago. So if anybody wants to know about attachment styles, go check out the podcast that we did, the episode we did about attachment styles. And it's really about how you're attaching to everything. To me, I find it's if you're an attachment style in a relationship, you're that way at work, you're that way with family, you're that way with friends.
Yes.
And knowing your attachment style is really going to help you understand where you are and how to heal. Because
exactly,
doesn't mean you're attaching, in a good way.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Again, like mentioned earlier, like the need that you're asking your partner to fill. Like if you have a detachment from your parents, you didn't feel like you got enough attention from them, you may grow up and be someone who doesn't like to feel like a partner should be doing that for you. You don't feel comfortable, right? So you're avoidant, you're like detached, like I don't want to get too close because you're not used to that. Or if you get inconsistent love from a parent, you can grow up being anxious, because what if I lose this? Like, are you going to stay? Are you going to go? So, it can come from so many different places. I think attachment styles are something everybody should kind of look into.
Absolutely. 100%. I realized that I was picking bad situations, not great situations, because that's what I was accustomed to, because from my youth, from growing up with my family. And whenever I would see a really fantastic guy, like really fantastic, loving, supportive, and all the things I really wanted, it scared the shit out of me. And I ran, and I always picked the bad guy, or the bad guy. I don't mean bad. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
And, finding myself and understanding my attachment styles, working on that, really helped me realize that I'm no longer attracting that toxic relationship. I'm attracting really incredible people. And not just in my like relationship kind of situation, but in my friendships, in my family, in my work. It really touches on every area. So
1,000%.
I just get excited for people to learn more about themselves, because I feel that is the more you know about yourself, the stronger you can become in a relationship for others. And too many people are pointing, like Kymmie said numerous times, people are looking for other people to fill these voids when they can fill their own void. They just need to learn how, but they need to first learn that they have the void. So this is great.
Yeah, I mean, just like Christine, I feel like people that we pick or date are reflections of how we see ourselves or what we think we deserve.
God.
Like,
yes.
I don't know. I don't have my boundaries. I don't know what boundaries are. So you'll typically pick a partner who will happily break your boundaries all the time because you're just used to that, right? So I feel like once you do secure those spaces, you're going to attract people who are going to mirror that. So
yeah, I thought I was useless. I thought I was worthless. I didn't think I was any good. I thought I was horrible. I thought all these terrible things about myself. I was insecure. And then when I got out of that and I lost that, I shed that, I no longer have people that treat me that way. And a miracle how that happens, it's really amazing. It's incredible how fast time goes when we're having fun.
I know.
I really love the idea of these cards. If Jason, you could put that info up again so people can reach out. This is not just for people in a relationship or people in poly or it's for monogamous relationships, poly relationship, everyone, people single, whatever. And I love the idea that it's the single cards that teach you about yourself, and that's perfect. It's beautiful. So again, thank you for being here today. You were a fantastic guest.
Thank you.
I totally love you, and I love hearing you on
too.
Clubhouse. What's your Clubhouse name?
It's Kymmie. So Kymmie, and then JRE.
JRE.
Yeah. Or you can also put in Variant is Lit. That's
Variant is Lit.
Yeah. I can put it. Yeah.
Yeah. So pop that up there. So Sean, thank you for always covering at the last minute when I need someone.
get some headphones next round.
It's all good. It's all good. Well,
Worked out.
you're too cute to not let you get away with something.
Thanks.
I'm happy to hear that Dawn is in town and there now, and you guys are, experiencing that life together. It's
Oh, yeah.
really
It
exciting.
really is. It's been great. She's been phenomenal. You should see my house. It looks like a completely different house. She's just decorating the heck out of it. So,
She comes in and takes over.
oh man, it's
Better be
definitely
careful.
our house at this point. She's just incredible.
That's funny. Kymmie, thank you so much for
Thank you,
telling us
guys.
about what you shared with us today. I thought it was really enlightening and I loved it. I appreciate your time. And
Thank you.
everyone, thank you for coming and being part of our show today. And it's the same time, same place next week. And until then, keep it real.
Keep it real. Bye, everybody.
If you enjoyed this episode, please share with your friends, like and follow us on Instagram at 50 Shades of _bullshit and Facebook at 50 Shades of Bullshit. Thanks so much for listening, and we really hope to see you again next week.